Hello everyone, I am Dr. Nilanjana Bhattacharya Nath from SVIMS. Today I would like to talk about the microscopy. Microscopy basically the science deals with the microscope. In this video I shall discuss the basic terminologies used in the microscopy. So first I will give you a brief introduction. The human eye is a natural optical system characterized by a certain resolution, that is, the minimal distance between which elements of an observed object can still be distinguished from each other. Microorganisms, most plant and animal cells, small crystals, and the microstructural elements of metals and alloys are much smaller. Various types of microscopes are designed for the observation and study of the objects. The shape, size, structure, and many other characteristics of microscopic objects are determined by microscope. In this video, I will discuss the basic microscope vocabulary starting from magnification, resolution, numerical aperture, angular aperture, microscope working distance, and last but not the least, focal length and focal point. Other than these basic terminologies, there are explanations for many of the common words used in microscopy. We will find many of the terms used in the microscope world. So first, magnification. Magnification of a microscope refers to the amount or degree of visual enlargement of an observed object. Magnification is measured by multiples such as 2x, 4x, 10x, indicating that the object is enlarged to twice, 4 times, or 10 times as big respectively. For a standard light-based microscope, the maximum magnification extends up to 1500x, whereas electron microscopes produce useful images with magnification up to about 2 lakh x. So how will we determine the magnification? How will we measure the magnification of a particular microscope? The range of useful total magnification of an objective and or eyepiece combination is determined by the numerical aperture of the system. Magnification occurs at two levels. Number 1 at objective and number 2 at the eyepiece level. The magnification depends on mechanical tube length, focal length of the objective, and the magnifying power of eyepiece. The shortest objective possesses the least power, that is 4x, and is called the scanning objective. It is followed by low power, that is 10x, and high power objective, that is 40x. The longest as well as strongest objective is the oil immersion objective, which has 100x power. If the power of ocular lens is fixed, that is 10x, then we can determine the total magnification of a microscope by multiplying the power of ocular lens with the power of objective lens. For example, if the ocular lens is 10x and the objective lens magnification is 4x, then the total magnification of microscope is equal to 10x into 4x is equal to 40x. Similarly, when the ocular lens power is 10x and objective lens power is also 10x, then total magnification of that particular microscope is 10 into 10 is equal to 100x. When ocular lens power is 10x and the objective lens power is 40x and 100x respectively, then the total magnification of that particular microscope is 400x and 1000x respectively. Next, resolution. The term magnification is often confused with the term resolution, which describes the ability of an imaging system to show detail in the object that is being imaged. While high magnification without high resolution may make very small microbes visible, it will not allow the observer to distinguish between microbes or subcellular parts of a microbes. In reality, therefore, microbiologists depend more on resolution as they want to be able to determine differences between microbes or parts of microbes. However, to be able to distinguish between two objects under a microscope, a viewer must first magnify to a point at which resolution becomes relevant. The resolution of an optical microscope is defined as the smallest distance between 2 points on a specimen that can still be distinguished as two separate entities. Next, how will we calculate the resolution? The resolution can be calculated according to the famous formula introduced by Ernst Abbe in the late 19th century and represents a measure of the image sharpness of a light microscope. So limit of resolution is equal to small d is equal to 0.61 lambda by capital N capital A. That capital N capital A is equal to numerical aperture of the microscope, and we can also write instead of capital N capital A small n into sin alpha, where small n is equal to refractive index of the medium, alpha half angle with the optical axis, and the lambda wavelength of light used. Thus, according to the formula, that is small d is equal to 0.61 lambda by Na, the resolving power can be increased in two ways. Number one, decreasing the wavelength, that is the lambda. By using the filter, we can also decrease the wavelength. And number two, increasing the numerical aperture. So as we know, the numerical aperture is equal to n into sin alpha. The other factors such as low specimen contrast and improper illumination may serve to lower resolution. The resolution of a microscope is not solely dependent on the numerical aperture of an objective. It is also related to the wavelength of light which is used to image a specimen. Light of shorter wavelengths are capable of resolving greater detail than longer wavelengths. Next, numerical aperture. The numerical aperture of a microscope objective is a measure of its ability to gather light and resolve fine specimen detail at a fixed object distance. The numerical aperture is related to the refractive index of a medium through which light passes, as well as the angular aperture of a given objective. So numerical aperture is a number without units and is related to the angles of light which are collected by a lens. So numerical aperture can be expressed and determined by the following formula, that is Na is equal to small n into sin alpha, where small n is the refractive index of the imaging medium between the front lens of the objective and the specimen cover glass. A value that ranges from 1 for air and 1.51 for specialized immersion oils. Many authors substitute the variable alpha or mu in the numerical aperture equation. From this equation, it is obvious that when the imaging medium is air, that is the refractive index small n is equal to 1, then the numerical aperture is dependent only upon the angle mu, whose maximum value is 90 degree. The sine of the angle mu therefore has a maximum value of 1, that is sine 90 degree is equal to 1, as we all know, which is the theoretical maximum numerical aperture of a lens operating with air as the imaging medium. That means whenever we are using dry microscope objectives. In practice, however, it is difficult to achieve numerical aperture values above 0.95 with dry objectives. Numerical aperture can be increased by the following ways. Number 1, increasing the refraction index, that is small n. This can be done by adding oil to the object. As I have told you, whenever we are using immersion oil, then the small n value is approximately 1.51 instead of 1. And the number 2, increasing the angle of light coming from the object, that is the mu. Next, angular aperture. The maximum longitudinal angle of the cone of light collected by the front lens of the objective is known as the angular aperture. In addition to an increasing numerical aperture, image brightness is also proportional to the angular aperture. The angular aperture is inversely proportional to the focal length of the objective. As focal length decreases, there is an increase in the amount of light which the objective front lens can gather. Image forming light waves pass through the specimen and enter the objective in an inverted cone. A longitudinal slice of this cone of light shows the angular aperture, a value that is determined by the focal length of the objective. The angle mu is just half of the angular aperture and is related to the numerical aperture. The image brightness and the image detail, that is resolution, which is collected and formed by an objective lens, are related to the angular aperture. It is apparent that refractive index is the limiting factor in achieving numerical apertures greater than 1. Therefore, in order to obtain higher working numerical apertures, the refractive index of the medium between the front lens of the objective and the specimen must be increased. Microscope objectives are now available that allow imaging in alternative media such as water. The refractive index is 1.33, glycerin, the refractive index is 1.47, and the refractive index of immersion oil is 1.51. So, by using these media alternatively instead of air, either water or glycerin or immersion oil, we can increase the overall refractive index as well as the numerical aperture. Next, microscope working distance. Microscope working distance is the amount of distance required between the objective lens and the top of the object in order for the sample to appear in focus. Typically, the larger the magnification of a high power objective lens, the shorter the working distance. As magnification increases, working distance decreases. There are two working distances for microscope, objective and stage. Together, they define the space you have to work with objects and still focus with your microscope. Objective working distance is the vertical distance from the objective's front lens to the closest surface of the specimen when the specimen is sharply focused. It's the space you have to get a specimen in under the lens and still get a focus. Working distance decreases as magnification, resolution, and numerical aperture increase. Microscope objectives are usually designed with short working distance. The stage working distance is the vertical distance that is available for focusing by moving the stage, arm, or tube either separately or together. When combined with the objective's working distance, it determines how big or thick a specimen can be and still be viewable. Larger working distances are best for looking at larger specimens like whole rocks and entire stamps. Low power microscopes will have more generous stage working distances than high power microscopes. Low power microscopes will also be able to see more of the surface of the specimen since the large working distance and low power give them the ability to view more of the specimen at once. The last is the focal lengths and focal points. Lenses can focus light and make images in a very similar way to mirrors. Lenses are either converging or diverging. So converging means convex on both sides and concave on one side but more strongly convex on the other. That is thicker in the center than at the edges. And what is diverging? That is concave on both sides or concave on one side more strongly than convex on the other. That is thinner in the center than at the edges. The focal length, that is small f, is the distance from a lens or mirror to the focal point, which is denoted as capital F. Light rays traveling parallel to the optical axis of a lens or mirror will meet at the focal point. Light rays that are parallel to each other but not to the optical axis will meet on the focal plane. So, from the above discussion, we can conclude that microscopes expanded our horizons in more ways than many of us realize. Microscopes are instruments designed to produce magnified visual or photographic images of small objects. The microscope must accomplish three tasks: produce a magnified image of the specimen, separate the details in the image, and render the details visible to the human eye or camera. And for these, we have to understand the basic terminologies or basic vocabularies, that is the magnification, resolution, numerical aperture, angular aperture, microscope working distance, and also the focal length and focal point. Thank you.